Hey guys, this is Watercolor and today I'm going to teach you how to make this drawing that I call the colors within in watercolor. So of course, first we'll start by sketching. So I'm making here a girl in a dress. You can call it a ball gown. So just a light little sketch, not too much detail, just a simple outline. Also, just in case anyone was wondering, yes, I am left-handed. Alright, so now the drawing is done, so I'm just gonna go and grab some black paint and a paintbrush and just gonna start painting that figure in black. So I'm gonna paint the entire figure black. Alright guys, so here I'm using a number 4 Camlin Synthetic Brush. This is a smaller one than the one I was using previously. I forgot to show that one, I'm sorry. But this one is for the final details like the fingers. The next one is a size 10 Camlin Synthetic Brush. So I'm using that one to cover the skirt of her dress, which is larger, so it's easier to cover it with a larger brush. Now I'm just watering down the bottom of my dress so it is easier to blend it with other colors later. Now I'm using a number 8 Camlin Synthetic Brush. This was the one I was using the first time and this is literally the best brush ever. Next I'm going in with some Crimson Lake and I'm gonna just put it on my palette and just watering it down a bit. And just coloring part of my page with it. As you can see here, I changed to a larger brush. This is the number 10 Camlin Synthetic Brush. It is easier to use it because, well, it's larger, so it helps to cover larger areas easily. And then I'm going in with some lemon yellow and just putting it on my palette, watering it down, and then going in and covering large areas of my page with it. And make sure you have a lot of water with your paint because you're gonna need it because you're covering a lot of area. And also you're going to be putting more color on it later, so it's easier that way. Now I'm going in with some Viridian hue. Also I changed my water, notice that. It's important to change your water regularly. And now I'm just covering my some large areas of my page with the Viridian hue, which is basically green. I'm going in with some Cobalt blue hue and again doing the same thing, just covering large areas of my page with it. And I purposefully made the blue go like very just adjacent to the yellow so that it would like mix and form some green. I think that would just make it look more blended and just more beautiful. Next I'm using some purple. So I just mixed some Cobalt blue and some Crimson Lake and I forgot to show that, but that's how I made that purple and then just went in with it. Also, what happened here is that my camera just turned off for no reason at all. And what happened during that time was I was holding my palette and it accidentally turned vertical and some color fell on my art, like my page. So yeah, that happened. Anyways, now I'm going in with some orange. It was already there on my palette. I'm pretty sure it's vermilion hue, but I'm not really sure. God knows how long it's been on my palette. But anyways, now I'm going in with some water and just softening the edges of that color that is near to the figure of the girl so that it'll just like blend in a bit and not look like such a harsh line. Also just added some red at the bottom and some green up there because I felt like there is very little green in this whole piece of art. And then again I'm just going in with some water, blending the harsh lines in a little bit. And just adding some more crimson there because I felt like that was a little too light. Just a few touch-ups. Now I'm just going in and covering the left side of my page with a coat of water. So as I said, like, I turned my palette vertical accidentally and some spots of color fell on my page. So you can see that there's a bright red spot just below the dress of the girl and a green spot at the bottom right corner. So I'm gonna purposefully do that and purposefully turn my palette vertical so that some color drips on there, and I feel like it'll just make it look better and like more creative and more interesting. So yeah, I'm just going in and covering the left side of my page with a coat of water. I'm not doing the entire page at once because I feel like it will be too much. One side will dry while I finish doing the other side, so I'm not going to do that. I'm only doing the left side right now, so just make sure that it is completely covered in water. Just make it very wet. Also, I'm using watercolor paper, so a lot of water won't affect it. And now you can't see it, I'm sorry that it's out of the frame, but I'm watering down my colors right now. You can see I'm watering down the green, watering down the red, watering down the orange now. And alright, here we go. I'm about to turn my palette vertical. Alright, I'm scared. Moment of truth, everyone. Alright, I can see some color falling. It's a lot of crimson. Alright, we see some yellow there, a little bit of yellow. And then obviously that is a lot of crimson, so I just turned my palette diagonal so I get more blue and green in there. So yes, I am getting some blue and green. It's a kind of planned accidents, I guess. Planned accidental spots. Yeah. Alright, so obviously there's too much of crimson on the top left corner. Like, it is literally covered in crimson, so I'm just gonna remove that, and because of that, and to do that, I'm going in with a very red brush with a lot of water on it and just covering the crimson layer with water. So this is called the washing technique, so it is used to just get rid of unwanted colors. So just cover that unwanted color with a lot of water. Let me just go find a cloth, like a wastecloth, some scrap cloth that you don't really use, and so you're gonna find a cloth that you don't want to use. So right here I have mine, and you're just gonna dab it over that part, and since there's a lot of water there, the cloth will just absorb all the water, including the color, and just get rid of all that color. So as you can see, it's getting rid of the color, but obviously it's getting rid of the color underneath it too, so I have to touch that up. And before I do that, I'm just gonna dry out the rest of my spots because, well, they're a bit dark, and you know, the faster they dry the better, because I like how they look now. I don't want them to spread anywhere else crazy, so I'm just drying them. Alright, and so now I am just gonna go in with a little bit of green to just touch on that area, because like the washing technique took away a lot of the green, so I'm just gonna like repaint the green on. And as I said, I feel like there is way too little green in this piece of art. I don't know why. Anyways, I went in with some green and I fixed that. Now I am going to put some more green and put some green spots on there, because there are very few green spots on there. As big or as small as you want, but you know, I'm just kind of doing my thing here. I don't even know what I'm doing, just doing whatever I feel like doing. Then I'm gonna make some yellow, some more green, some blue, make some more spots, and then now I'm just doing the same thing on the right side, just covering it with a coat of water, like completely covering it, and then pouring color from my palette up there. Now that one way better than the left side. That looks very beautiful and honestly very artistic. So I'm just touching up a few places, you know, some yellow, some purple, some blue here and there, some crimson here, some purple there. Just doing my thing, you know, just touching some stuff up. A little bit of crimson on the left area too, because I just don't like it. Alright, so now it has dried. I left it for about an hour or so. So now I'm using, again, the number 4 Camlin Synthetic Brush. It is the smallest brush I own. and I am just gonna go water down the lines that I made there because I feel like they have turned really harsh. And since and now I'm using some white. I'm just going on with some Chinese white and just mixing it in the palette, watering it down, and then I'm just like putting it over the lines that I have made around the figure. I'm gonna kind of like make the figure glow, like shine, and I'm gonna make the white just start from her and then like fade away, so it's like she's illuminated and light is coming from her. So I'm just outlining her in white right now, and taking some water and just kind of fading that white out. So as you can see, I'm lining in white right now, just outlining in white is going on. And now I'm taking some water and just kind of fading the white out. Again, I'm taking some more white, outlining that. Then taking some more water, fading that out. Again, some more white. Taking water, fading that out. Okay, that is still white. Yeah, now I'm taking some water and fading that out. Just fading it out, making it look like she's glowing and she's illuminated. So yeah, I'm just gonna outline her just like this, making some white fade away from her. That's what I'm gonna do around her. And this is a long process. This took a long time, man. This was tiring. So now my white is done and I just let it dry. Now that it's completely dry, I'm just gonna go over the skirt with some black because it was kind of light at some areas, so I'm just gonna even it all out. And I'm just extending the skirt to the bottom a bit because it kind of looks weird, like she's floating, and it just doesn't make sense. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then again I'm just gonna leave that to dry. So yeah. Now again that it is dry, I'm just gonna do the white outline once again, just to make it look more pronounced and to actually make her look like she's glowing and she's like this magical entity and stuff like that. Just make her look like she's glowing and stuff. Like doing some touch-ups, just finishing this up, making this like look perfect, and because I'm such a perfectionist. So yeah, so I'm just perfecting that, little finishing touches, a few finishing touches, some blending, finishing blending, you know what I'm saying. Anyways, now I'm gonna use a toothbrush, which obviously has been used to paint many times. You can see the paint stains on there. But now I'm just gonna put some white paint on it. I'm attempting to put some white paint on it with the paintbrush, but that did not work. So I took some white paint and just mixed it there and dipped my toothbrush in it, which actually did work. So as you can see, it did work, and it worked pretty well. And if you don't know how to paint with a paintbrush, you just like kind of push the bristles back and the paint just comes out on its own. So that's just kind of how it works. So basically what I'm trying to do over here is just kind of draw stars, I guess, because I feel like it will look more magical and like make this look better. Also, I'm just trying to get rid of that white spot using the washing technique because I just don't like it that much. It looks like weirdly placed and way too big. So I just pushed a ton of water on that and then dabbed all the water off, so it's gone now. But anyways, what I'm aiming to do with the toothbrush painting is I'm trying to just make a few stars and make it look really magical, like a galaxy or something. And just to go looking out into the universe, something like that. So it makes it look really magical. That's what I'm trying to do over here. So yeah. Alright, so now I'm just gonna go in with a brush and just like draw some stars. I guess I'm just gonna I'm just trying to draw stars over here, so I'm just gonna like draw a few of those with some white paint and just like, you know, make it look magical and beautiful. Just draw one big star right at the top and just, you know, some more small ones. It just looks really nice and aesthetic and beautiful. So again, I'm going in with the number 4 Camlin Synthetic Brush and just kind of making a pattern on the dress of the girl. I'm so sorry for this being out of focus. I had no idea that this was out of focus. I'm really sorry for that. It'll come back into focus again after a bit, believe me. But here, yeah, I am just painting a design on the dress of the girl. And I did not plan this design before. This is purely just like coming out of my mind, just like in the moment. I'm thinking of the design at the moment. Okay, now it's back in focus. I'm really sorry for that, guys. Really sorry. But anyways, yeah, I'm making my design. Just adding some finishing touches to my design. You can see how white stained my hands are because of that toothbrush painting thing. And just gonna finish up the white paint and we are done. So this is the finished painting and in my opinion it looks pretty amazing. So definitely try this and just, you know, make sure to tell me how it went in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then do not forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more awesome videos like these, hit the bell icon to get notified every time I post a new video, and don't forget to share this video with all your friends. Bye guys!